citation and demand them and tase them and ultimately shooting and killing them. This case is directly against Jim Proctor, and I told y'all before, this is not just a bad apples, this is a bad orchard. This is a bad orchard. And today, we are bringing accountability to the apple and the orchard. To the apple and the orchard. Make no mistake about it. I've echoed it over and over again. We're in Brunswick for work. Faith without works is dead. This is work. It's time to get work. It's not just about Leonard. It's about everybody who drives through Camden County on the way to Florida to see their mama. And they're sure that they make it there alive. Because if this was a criminal case, Jim Proctor should be charged with party to the crime because he's responsible, just as much Buck Aldridge is responsible. With that being said, I'm going to bring up the president of the NAACP, Tim Bassett Sr. I'm going to bring up Leonard's mom and his siblings who want to speak. Then we'll do Q&A.
Let me just say this. We're here again standing with the Cure family. The incidents and the things that have taken place in Camden County, it's not just have been one incident. There are several incidents that we know of that has happened under this current administration that involve correctional officers, that involve deputies, patrol officers. As you go back in 2003, officer by the name of Chad Palmer showed the kind of things that this sheriff allows to happen within the department. 2003, he painted, white officer painted his face black with a correctional officer, a correctional detainee uniform on, as though he was picking cotton. Can you imagine that in 2003, a correctional officer in Camden County dressed as an inmate as though he's picking cotton? What did the sheriff do?
Nothing.
1 year probation, he said.
Wow. Nothing.
In 2003, that deputy should have been terminated. So there's not just one incident, there's several incidents. A lot have taken place in Camden County, and the termination would not happen if the GBI, after they finished their case, and the district attorney didn't get involved, then now the sheriff want to do something about it. So this is systemic in Camden County. And so we are calling for the citizens of Camden County to take a deep look at this current sheriff and this administrator and say, how much longer are we going to allow these things to happen? So as we stated before, the NAACP in Camden County, we are standing with the Cure family and all of those that have been assaulted at the hands of the deputies that the Camden County Sheriff Jim Proctor have allowed to happen in our county. Thank you.
Let me say this one thing. Let me let this gentleman move with this this music. It sounds good. But if he want to be nosy, just turn the music down and listen.
How about that?
Yes, you can do that. Let me say this. I'll be remiss. Mr. Tim Bassett Sr. has done a phenomenal job. One of the best NAACP presidents, local chapter that I've seen, who's very concerned about citizens. And we're not talking about this black folk, people of color. We're talking about white people alike. And he has been amazing. And a lot of these cases have been brought to the attention of the GBI directly on this man's work to bring an accountability to Camden County Sheriff Office. So I would be remiss if I didn't say that. We had majority of all these cases in this complaint started with him. People complaining to him, and he going to the jail to see about him. In fact, the Jared Hobbs case, he went to the jail and talked to the sheriff, and the sheriff said, what did he tell you?
It didn't happen.
It didn't happen, wasn't aware of it. And they charged Jared Hobbs with a crime. And but for the United States attorneys in North Carolina asking for the video, we'd never known what happened to Jared Hobbs. Today, Jared Hobbs is no longer in the Camden County Jail. All charges have been dismissed, and the deputies and detention officers who beat him has been indicted. Think about that. They've been indicted. But if Mr. Bessie would never went or gone to the Camden Sheriff Office, that video never came out, it'd have been swept away. You can think how many more that we don't know about. There's a whole lot more than these 6. It's a whole lot more. Ms. Cure, you want to come up and speak?
Yes, just a few words.
Yeah, she want to come up and speak. This is Linda's Cure, mother Mary Cure.
Hi, my name is Mary Cure. There are a couple of things I'd like to say. First of all, it's a terrible day when the citizens have to police the police. That's a terrible day because they should take their job seriously. And when they want to use excess force, you have other parts of the body you can shoot. You don't have to always kill somebody. 2 things that bother me after Lane's death is the compensation that the state made. I had to bury him with that. You know how painful that is? He never got to spend anything. Bought a house, he was never ever to live in it. And the hell of trying to close out his estate and being questioned by the officials in Georgia has been daunting. Really daunting. I've given them the death certificate in certain places. They asked me, is that real? Are you kidding me? It's crazy that it has gotten that far. So I want to know definitely somehow that this guy who killed my son is not working. I've always been slightly suspicious of this, that he should have been on administrative leave. I do not believe he's on administrative leave. He shouldn't be working anywhere. He should not. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Cure. Are you going to come up? You want to speak?
Never mind. No. Again, here we are, and I just want to reiterate a few points that we made earlier. All I really want is justice for my brother. Justice for my brother. And unfortunately, it has to be financial compensation, if so, but my brother deserved better than what he received in Camden County. My question to Camden County, as a matter of fact, to law enforcement across the country is, black officers are faced with the same dilemmas as white officers. How is it or why is it that they don't kill anybody? There's a problem in America with black men and men of color being killed and women indiscriminately. Since my brother's killing, he was the 80th murder victim in Georgia. As of December 28, 2023, 103 people have been murdered by Georgia police departments. There is a problem in the country, but Georgia certainly has a problem that you all really need to address. Again, I will reiterate, you cannot change what you tolerate. And with a racist, incompetent sheriff in charge, it will never change. Never. So hopefully this will get their attention and changes will be made, but something has to give. This is outrageous. And I believe I can speak for my family when we say that we are overwhelmed and we are outraged. This should not be. My brother did 17 years for a crime he did not commit. He did not commit. He was 100% exonerated. He was innocent. Only to be out 3 years and have an encounter with this racist, incompetent officer who took his life unnecessarily. Where's the justice? Where is it? This has to stop.
I'd like to thank all of you all in the media for being here and keeping a light on this situation. I'd also like to thank the attorneys for taking the matter up. So often we see attorneys chasing the bag with injury attorneys chasing behind ambulances. These guys are here, these men are here standing up for justice. Today it could be my family, tomorrow it could be yours. There are instances where the color line is broken. There have also been Anglos, Europeans, that have been assaulted and brutalized by law enforcement officers. We need voices to stand up against it. Thank you.
Okay, we'll take some questions here.
I just got an email from the district attorney's office. They let us know that this case is still under review. So is this filing premature?
No, it's not premature. This is a federal filing. This is a civil filing. Look, the district attorney has a job. They have a standard in which they do and process in which they go from the GBI or what have you. A lot of these cases that's inside this complaint, I was a lead attorney on. A lot of them are one of the lead attorneys, so I'm very aware and clear of what have transpired in Camden County. I'm no stranger to Camden County whatsoever, so I know exactly, the timing is now, and hopefully, in considering this federal lawsuit and looking at the things that transpired, that the district attorney take a deeper, closer look at the case. But here's the thing, we're not here to wait what the district attorney do. The video came out in October 16, 2023. Right. Buck Ulrich has been beating people since almost a decade. And the sheriff been covering up and not doing anything for years. So we don't need to wait for a district attorney before we move forward. We are also going to appeal to the Department of Justice. So Brunswick Judicial Circuit or the Department of Justice in Washington, D.C. This is a matter that we take very seriously. So to answer your question, no, it's not premature. It's right on time.
All right. When you look at that video, obviously it's hard to watch to begin with. A lot of people, especially commenters, they've taken out the chase and they say, why did Leonard react the way he did? Is that justification enough?
Well, I don't really, and I understand people, you have polarizing comments. We got a case up in Minnesota. We saw a case in Minnesota where you think that George Floyd had his knee on Derek Chauvin's neck for 8 minutes and 46 seconds. Absolutely. So we're aware those people make those comments. We block those noise. The bottom line is this. When the experts and the analysts look at that video, as well as the lawyers look at that video, the person who escalated and the person who used force, unnecessary, unlawful, excessive force in that video to start with is Buck Ulrich. At the time, now Leonard might have been saying he wasn't going to do stuff, but everything he told Leonard to do, he did it.
He complied.
He might have said, well, I don't want to do it. He said, put your hands on the truck. He did it.
He did it.
He told, turn around. He did it. He said, put your hands behind your back. Well, for to put your hand behind your back, you got to take your hands off the truck. And when he did that, he shot him. He tased him. Completely unjustified. So in the state of Georgia, Mario, correct me if I'm wrong, a person is allowed to resist an unlawful force against them. And the person who initiated force cannot use deadly force. That's exactly what happened here. He literally instigated, started, and shot these vultures through Leonard's body, and he was resisting, prevent that from happening from him. Then he ultimately ended up shooting and killing him. So the commentators, that happened. I'm a civil rights lawyer. We hear it and we see it all the time, so we don't worry about that.
And let's not forget, it's a traffic stop. He did not get out brandishing weapons. There were drugs. There was nothing that should have caused them to get this end result.
But what we do know is that he has escalated before.
Absolutely.
He's done this before.
That is his
He's
MO.
gotten out the car before, beating and punching and tasing without justification. Yeah. So that's his MO. And if the sheriff would have did his JOB, we would not be here today.
And the reality is, if he were white, we would have a different outcome.
In response to your question, when law enforcement does something unlawful and creates this whole situation, they're responsible for anything that follows. And so that's the point. So whatever you want to say about what happens in the video after the tasing, fundamentally, that tasing was improper, and law enforcement is responsible for everything that happens after that.
All right, any other questions?
Yes. Can I ask, when it comes to the next steps, I mean, this is going to take a while, and the DA has not even reached, their decision. So this is going to be a long, drawn-out process, obviously, for this family.
How you know that?
Timeline? I mean, we're waiting on the DA, and you all have already filed this. They can decide in your favor.
And I'm asking you a rhetorical question. I mean, obviously, we don't know how long lawsuits happen. It depends on, obviously, at some point we'll serve the lawsuit, we'll get a defense attorneys involved, and we'll go from there. Yeah, they tend to be drawn out because there's a lot of work, there's a lot of cases being filed. But at the same time, our steps, we're going to proceed forward. in this matter. And that's our job. That is what our intent is. This is a civil matter, and not just a civil matter asked for monetary relief. We are asking the federal courts to enjoin, to tell Camden County Sheriff Office, quit violating people's civil rights. That's one of the things we have in this lawsuit. So we can't wait for a DA to present to a grand jury or whatever. We must act now because it's imperative, because lives are at stake. Mario?
Yeah. The criminal process is going to happen however long it takes. We don't know how long that's going to take, but we don't have the luxury of waiting like the district attorney, who can wait 3-4 Christmases before he decides to indict a case. We don't have that luxury. We have a 2-year statute of limitations, so we have to bring it. This court, the Southern District of Georgia, has got a very fast docket. So we may get ahead of the district attorney's office, and that's okay. The only way it'll get slowed down is if Mr. Aldridge decides that he wants to assert his Fifth Amendment privilege and stop this and stay this case while the criminal process is going on. So if it gets slowed down, it's going to be slowed down based on what the defendants ask, not based on what we're doing.
And remember, we have 2 defendants, so we missed. And to add on that, we have 2 defendants, the sheriff and Aldridge. So even if he asked for a state, we have another case against the sheriff. And you got to always look at these complaints, different parties, different claims. It's almost like 2 lawsuits into one. Any other questions?
You know, I'm hurt and I'm.
No, don't do it. I got it. I know it.
Okay, all right. You better grab me. I'm about to take a flight here.
Aldridge being
I'm about to take flight.
or sent to prison.
That's
Or both.
what
Exactly.
justice
All right.
Fired at the very minimum, fired.
And we've already asked for that.
And never ever rehired by law enforcement. He should not have a right to wear that title. He should be incarcerated. That's where he belongs, because he is the criminal, not my brother.
All right, let me say this. We're going to end the press conference. Add what Mr. Security has said. You know, you got to realize that this family had fought for Leonard, and he just wasn't exonerated on some technicality or not guilty because the state couldn't prove their verdict. He was exonerated because he was innocent. He was at an ATM machine miles away at the time when this alleged robbery took place at Walgreens. But for the retention of the store or whatever, he would have been found innocent, not guilty, case dismissed. But she continued to fight for him, and she's going to continue, this family going to continue to fight for him in life and in death. We are proud to represent this family and to move forward. So with that being said, you have any other questions? You got one more? Anybody other questions? Thank you guys for coming, and we'll keep you updated. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.